like you to take us back to a few decades ago to the 1970s. Who was Raisi and how did he rise the ranks to eventually become president?
Yeah, well, he was a very prolific figure, and he got the nickname of the Butcher of Iran for many different reasons, which I'll get into in a moment. So he started as a cleric. He started just studying the Islamic texts at the age of 15, and by the age of 19 was already in a very high-ranking judicial position. Remember, in Iran, unlike the United States, where we go to law school and that's how we sort of work our way up in the courts, in Iran, being Sharia society, it's based on your knowledge of Islam. And so he was very much a scholar of that, and that's how he ended up in the judicial system. And when he was in his 20s, he was one of 4 people that belonged to what they called the death committees. So after the revolution in the 1980s, when the Ayatollah took over Iran, thousands upon thousands of opposition members were swept up and they were referred to as terrorists. And many suffered immense torture, and somewhere with sort of up the figure of 30,000, if not more, people were executed. And this was under Raisi's watch, and this is how he got that very notorious nickname. After that, he sort of continued to grow in the ranks, becoming an attorney general. And then eventually in 2016, he was the chief prosecutor in Iran, which meant that he was overseeing many of the executions, many of the sentences, and then became president in 2021. And in his first 2 years alone, more than 500 people were executed in Iran. So it really shows that this was his approach to handling opposition. And we've seen with the protests that have happened in the last couple of years, how many people have been sort of thrown into the gallows and suffered the worst of the worst because of that. And at the end of the day, that buck stops with Raisi.